Good evening, Drew.
Hey, buddy. We did it.
We did it.
We did it. We finally got to record a podcast.
We're good at this.
No, it's my fault. I had just so much going on last week, and I had like an impromptu boss visit on the night we normally record, and then everything just got pushed back because of all the stuff that I was doing last week. Okay. Before we dive into the topics du jour, it is that time of year again, Paul. It's that time of year again, Paul. I'm coming for you this year, buddy.
God damn. I have no idea this year, Drew.
I don't
none.
either.
I have none. I have none. None. I was thinking about this a little earlier today, and I have no idea.
Well, I mean, okay. For everyone who isn't our one listener, every year that we've been doing this podcast, Paul and I have celebrated the Christmas and adjacent holidays by spending money on each other. Year one, Paul was such a good boy. Paul did such a good job, and it was an awesome gift. And then he got me a mesh Wi-Fi system because my Wi-Fi wasn't mesh, and now I know the joy of mesh Wi-Fi thanks to Paul.
Exactly.
Year two, you got me a very handsome collection of some very good comic books because I was very new to the hobby, and you listen to me and you care about me and you got me nice things. However, I bought you a denim jacket that turned into work for you.
You bought me a lifestyle. It became a battle jacket. Thank you.
Yep. And then I bought you tickets to a concert that didn't happen. So,
well, I mean, you can't predict COVID, so
I really took a gamble on that. I when I bought those tickets, I was like, man, I really hope we figured this out as a civilization and we can go back to doing things. And then, nope, that didn't happen.
No, it did not. It did not.
Okay, so I'll level with you, bud. This year is a very subdued financial Christmas for me across the board for reasons that, again, if you're a listener to this podcast, you probably realize. So not looking to spend a ton of money here, but I already have your gift.
God damn it.
I already have it. And buddy, it's a doozy.
Oh.
Buddy, it's a doozy. Now, listen. Not going to give anything away. You're not going to see this one coming. But I did not spend a lot of money on it.
Okay.
Did not spend a lot of money. I have less than $20 in this gift.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not telling you to spend less than $20 on me, but if you're looking to sort of bracket this, that is the number.
Okay.
Okay. Let's keep it low key. So this is 2021 Christmas. We're keeping it low key.
That's the thing.
Keeping it low key.
Okay.
And then I will get you the present somehow.
Okay.
It is currently being made. Is the only hint I will give you.
God damn it. Okay. I'm gonna figure this up. God damn it. Okay. All right. I'll figure something out.
I know you will, buddy.
I'll come through. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I just hope you like it. I really thought hard about this, and I sort of called in some favors, and I'm content with this gift. It is not a gift that can go wrong. Let's just put it that way. It's not a gift that can go wrong. That's all. I gotta shut up. I'm going to tell you what it is.
Okay. Oh.
All right. Okay, so let's get that out there.
That's right.
Deadline. So looking at the calendar, how do I Windows 11? Where did my calendar go? Oh, there it is. Okay, so we normally record on Thursdays. Christmas this year is on a Saturday, the 25th. Assuming our podcasting schedule holds, that means that we will be recording on the 23rd. Do you want to shoot for the 23rd?
Let's shoot for the 23rd.
All right, we're going to shoot for the 23rd. That is when it gives me plenty of time to secure the thing, and gives you time to think about. I'm going to win this year. This is the year, Drew. I'm turning it around.
Oh,
turning it around this year.
Boo. Okay.
All right. So let's get that penciled in. So listeners, we will have our annual Christmas disappointment episode on the 23rd of December. Okay. I tweaked the agenda a little bit here because I got a lot of things I want to talk about.
There's a lot of time. There's a lot of content.
Stuff. Yeah. There's a lot of content, but I'm going to kick things off with you. So what are you up to?
The first thing I wanted just to tell our one listener is, in fact, well, when I wrote this in the note, I said I was watching it. I guess now I have watched it. There's a show on Hulu called Dopesick, and holy shit, is it amazing! It's just amazing. It's amazing.
I have heard of the show. I have never watched it. Break it down to me.
Okay, so the gist of it is, it's the shit. God, I was prepared for this, and now luckily I have the internet. Dopesick covers the opioid epidemic.
Is it a documentary?
No, it is not. It is a drama. It is a work of fiction, but it is based on it's based on this actually happened in America, and the parts were they try to get the facts right. Right.
Okay. So is it is it more of a dramatization?
I would say yes, very much so.
Okay, I'm in.
It covers the Sackler family. It's got some big names. It's got Michael Keaton as a doctor. One of the things it does exceptionally well. There's 3.5 different storylines, and they happen at different times, and it kind of shifts between them, kind of going forward and backward through time, and it is done so well. It's just good. I don't want to talk too much about it because spoilers and stuff, but it is the writing and the acting is just absolutely phenomenal. So I highly recommend you watch Dopesick on Hulu. There's 8 episodes. They're good.
Well, so one season, 8 episodes.
Yeah, one season, 8 episodes.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they can make another season of this because they kind of told the story. But
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm into that. As somebody who worked for a healthcare company that did mail order pharmacy, and as somebody who has had surgeries where I've had painkillers and friends that have struggled with opiate addiction, I would actually like to watch this.
It's really good, really good,
and it's timely because here in Ohio there was a lawsuit recently. Just dropped just dropped the doc link in there, where 2 Ohio counties sued CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart. And a federal jury basically found them liable, so they're going to have to pay. Yeah, it's really messed up, man. So it seems like Ohio, for some weird reason, is a very big ground zero for this stuff. There's a lot of rural counties here that were hit especially hard by the opioid crisis. And for those of you that maybe aren't as familiar with it, it's basically drug makers and drug sellers and doctors really pushed these really potent opioid painkillers on a large percentage of the population. And when you really read about it, it's exceptionally scummy. It's really, really scummy. And there's been pretty much irreparable harm that will take decades to sort of clean up, if that's even possible, some of the damage that these drugs have done just because they are so prolific.
Yeah.
And it's really sad. It's a really sad thing. I know that Cardinal Health, which is based in Dublin here, or has at least major offices here in Dublin, they got caught up in this and they were sued, I believe. I think they were sued. I better double check that. I don't want us to be sued. But they were caught up in this mess. It's just a real bad thing. In fact, this has gained so much traction over the past couple of years, but the fact is that when I was in college, way back in the 90s, I feel like kids had access to these really strong painkillers, and I remember being at parties where kids were crushing them up and snorting them and doing all kinds of weird shit with like their extra Adderall and their extra painkillers, or like their parents' medication that they stole and all that stuff. So it was like, I don't know, this problem's been around a long time. I'm glad that we're sort of, raising public awareness about it. And again, as somebody who's watched people get affected by this, I'm actually I'm going to probably give this a good watch.
Yeah, this really covers, like, the big thrust of it is Oxycontin, and the company that made it, Purdue Pharma, their big push that it was a non-addictive opioid. Spoiler alert, it's addictive.
It's extremely addictive.
So, yeah.
Well, I remember that
it does not paint them in a good light. Woo.
Yeah, I remember I had a little brush with it too, because I had some dental work done when I lost some of my front teeth playing hockey.
Yep.
And after my surgery, I had a little 14-day supply of OxyContin, and I took it for a couple of days. I knew how dangerous it was. There's a lot of people in my family that are pharmacists, and I had sort of read about this years ago when it was sort of known, but not as publicly aware, I guess, as it is now.
Yeah.
So I didn't take it. But there were times where here's a weird thing that I did one time. I got my chest and my back waxed one time.
Ooh, sexy times.
Yeah, right? I wanted to feel like I was a little baby boy again. And I listen, one of us in my romantic relationships loves that. And it's not her. Anyway, it's and so to prepare for that, because I knew it was going to be painful, what I did stupidly is the salon. This is back when I had hair in places that I wanted hair. The salon that I went to at the time, you could go in there and you could get your hair cut and you could drink some box wine. So what I did is I popped a couple OxyContin, drove to the salon, had a lot of glasses of wine, and I didn't care that much about the hot wax on my skin and the ripping and the tearing. And I got really, really high, super high.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, not one of my better decisions, because boy, that stuff is strong, man. I threw all of that away, like Scout's honor. I went to a drug take back at the police station here and threw all that stuff away.
Yeah.
Okay, Dopesick is being added to the Hulu watch list right
It's good.
Now. There it is.
Super good.
Super good. Now you have another piece of follow-up here.
I do. So last episode I talked about that I had bought a HomePod mini for my office. Since then I have bought 2 more HomePod minis. I now have a stereo pair in my office, and I have one in the kitchen as well. And let me tell you, a stereo pair of HomePod minis. I'm going to say HomePods mini. That's the most awkward way to say it. It sounds so good. It sounds so good, Drew. Oh.
So how do you have them? How do you have them laid out? Are they on your desk in stereo, or are they placed one in front and one behind you? How do you normally listen?
So they're kind of on the far left and right corner of my desk in my office, to give myself, a little bit of that stereo separation. It's good. They're so easy to set up. You just set up your new HomePod and you put it in the same room. It's hey, do you want to make this a stereo pair? And you're like, yes. And then it does its magic, and then boom, it's done.
Okay, so
it sounds good.
So jumping ahead a little bit here, I bought a HomePod mini on your recommendation.
Okay,
and I'm very pleased.
They're good.
It's actually I can't believe that is a $99 device.
I know it feels under for Apple. Yes. Now, granted, everything, Amazon would sell this for $35, but that's not what Apple does. Everything in Apple's more expensive. This feels too cheap at $99. Yeah.
So for an event that I was having at the house here, I was going to have people sort of all over my downstairs. And the way my house is laid out is that you can hear and see my speakers slash television from my great room and from like my kitchen. Okay. So like if you're in 50% of my house, you are within earshot and eyeshot of something. Okay.
Right.
But in my dining room, I don't have that. And I had people sort of lingering in both of those areas. And after our last podcast, I was in the market for a smart speaker. I think I even said like, hey, I might actually extend my Sonos system, but those are really expensive. So at $99, I'm thinking this is perfect. So I went to Target. They had them. I paid money for it and I left and I got home. And again, man, you really got to hand it to Apple here. And I'm going to sound like such a fucking fanboy, but
we are, Drew.
You take that out of the box, you hold your phone next to it, and it's like, hey, I'm a HomePod. Want to set me up? Like, there it is. And then it's part of your Wi-Fi system. I can cast to it. I can do all these things. The only thing that was a little bewitching at first was trying to control the volume at the pod level. That touch thing I haven't quite figured out. I
don't use it.
Yeah, I just use the app control. I mean, it was just easier. I didn't really understand because like you hold your finger on it to turn it up, but it doesn't happen right away. I don't know. Maybe I got a bad one, but it was really weird the way that it worked. But setup was flawless. I got a black one that really just kind of melts into the scenery of my dining room.
For my kitchen, I got a black one as well.
Yeah, it just works. And if I was going to get one for my kitchen, I'd get white because it would just sort of disappear into the backsplash. And it sounds great. And it's good to hear that. So it just knows that it's close to it. It's like, hey, want to make that stereo?
When you set it up, one of the things it wants to know is what room. Like you have to put it in a room,
right?
Because it lives in the home app. And that sent me down a rabbit hole. We'll talk in a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
But as soon as you say, hey, like I set this up and I said, hey, it's in my office. And it goes, ooh, you already have a HomePod in your office. Do you want to make this a stereo pair? And you hit yes, and then you're done.
Wow.
It just knows.
They're very bassy too for the size.
Like, and that's why I think there's actually, if you go into the Home app, there's actually an option to reduce space. Because sometimes they can get a little, they got the booms, but yeah, I'm really happy with the one HomePod is good. Two HomePods mini are phenomenal. I cannot believe how good they sound together.
I really wish that it was possible to get like two of those HomePod minis and like set them in my living room and have them just work with my Sonos soundbar. Like that would be sort of nirvana, but I don't think that's going to work. Because I do need to get some Sonos ones. Okay, so since you brought it up, right, I see the next thing on the list here is talking about HomeKit and HomeBridge.
Yes.
I have experience here, and I don't know if it's the same experience you had, but talk to me. What's going on?
So I've up until I got these HomePods mini, I had never any kind of reason to open up the HomeKit on open up the Home app on any of my Apple devices. Just not something I have ever done. But since I was in there, I'm like, so I wonder what devices in my home are supported by HomeKit. And like, I'm not a big home automation guy. I don't have any kind of smart lights and stuff, but I'm like, oh, okay. Well, my thermostat's in there, and my Eero routers, they're HomeKit enabled. And I don't know what else I got in. So I had just kind of a few little things. I started adding them, and I started thinking more and more about, I wonder what other kinds of stuff. Oh, I have a like outdoor smart switch that also was there. So then, I kind of got to thinking, like, I had some other stuff that was, that worked with the Washington Shipping Company's version of this, right? The Echo version of products, right? I have this little air purifier in my office, and what else? Oh, my security system, right? That stuff all works with the Alexa products, but they're not HomeKit enabled. I'm like, well, you know what? I keep hearing about this. So basically, just out of the box, my experience I had with HomeKit was good. For me, the way that the Home app is laid out into rooms and how things work, and its brand of automation, it clicked with me. It worked. So I'm like, well, you know what? I want more. I want more things in HomeKit. I want to take the stuff that I bought before I got into HomeKit and see if I can get it into HomeKit. And that led me down the path of running and installing and running Homebridge.
Well, now, tell me about Homebridge. What is Homebridge?
Okay, so Homebridge. Okay, so I had only really heard of this because of podcasters, right? People that I know that run this. So what Homebridge is, so if you think about home automation, right, there is a concept of a bridge. And a bridge, so like, let's say that you bought a bunch of light bulbs, but the light bulbs don't connect directly to your home automation stuff, right? It requires another piece of hardware called a bridge. And you connect the bridge to your home automation, and then like the light bulbs connect to the bridge. Well, what Homebridge is, it's a piece of software, it's all open source, that allows you to kind of make virtual bridges that allow you to add things to your HomeKit network that aren't HomeKit native, right? So a bunch of developers go through and they use the available APIs for these things, and they create these little bridges that you can go to this website and set it up, and then you add it to HomeKit like you would anything else. And for the few things I have added to Homebridge, it works as advertised. Like, just out of the I installed a bridge for my security system. I have a security system from Vivint. Don't at me. I got a really good deal on it. And this air purifier, and both of them I installed. I put in my credentials, and it just found everything, and it just works. It's a little fiddly. It can be a little fiddly, and my first try at it, I just absolutely I fucked everything up, Drew. I'm not gonna lie. I just broke it. So I don't know if you remember how I said that my Eero routers are HomeKit enabled. So when you do that, it turns on this thing called HomeKit security. I think that's what it's called. Let me make sure. HomeKit accessory security, and basically that keeps your if you ever have a fear that you bought this Chinese device and it's doing nothing but calling home and sending all your stuff out there, HomeKit works with my router to prevent that. It basically kind of locks down HomeKit accessories to only be allowed to talk to things on the network and in a whitelisted approved websites. Well, I didn't know that was a thing, and then I couldn't get my Homebridge to talk to anything, and I'm like, oof. I know Linux. This is a Unix system. And I started hacking config files, and it was bad. And then I realized, I just have to turn that off for the Homebridge, and then it works. So read the documentation, I guess, is the important part of this. Now, you said you had some experience with it. What was your experience? Not as good?
So, well, I don't know, actually. So at my last house, we went hard on home automation. We had a Nest thermostat. When we put in our landscaping lighting, we had smart plugs. We also had a smart switch for our front porch light. And then I had other little devices around the house that we would control with everything. And what's interesting is my sort of desired state for that stuff is to have the lady tube dingus manage it all, right? Mm-hmm. So I tell her to do a thing and she does a thing. But what was interesting is that when I was trying to set up some of these devices at my last house, you almost had to scan a little home kit, I don't want to call it a QR code. They're
QR. They definitely are QR codes.
Yeah, they are a version of a QR code that has a little picture of a home and then a bunch of letters and numbers next to it, and it uses character recognition or something in the picture to pick it up and say, "Oh, you're going to add this HomeKit device," and then it joins your Wi-Fi network for you. And Everything's happy. Oh, and my garage door opener. That was the other one. So like all these devices like appeared in HomeKit, but I never used HomeKit to manage it. I would always go into the Lady in the Tube app.
Yeah.
And I would set up scenes and I would set up everything and sort of just make it work. And when we moved, I had smart switches put in here to control our outside lights for like our back porch and for outside the garage and the front porch. And I still have an Nest thermostat where I live. I don't have a smart garage door opener anymore. But I have all this smart lighting, the thermostat, and then I've got some other stuff. Oh, I got an outdoor smart switch too. The company that makes all my switches is Lutron. And they support HomeKit. They support Lady in the Tube. They support all that stuff. But you have to have a bridge that sits on your network. So like I had to buy that. Plug that in. It's like it's hardwired into my network. Like it sits next to my router, and all the devices sort of phone home to that thing. So you open up the app and you say, I want to add a switch. You sort of hold it near the switch. It picks it up, and then you say, what bridge do you want to connect this to, and it does the thing. And I sort of assumed that all of these things would end up in HomeKit, but they're not. Like when I look at my HomeKit right now, the only thing that's in there is my Apple TV device. That's it. So like there's nothing in my HomeKit right now, and I don't know if there should be, but even if I did have it, I don't really mess with HomeKit to do any of that stuff. I don't set up scenes or automation through HomeKit. Everything is sort of done through the Alexa app, right? It's sort of how I do that. And I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, me getting the HomePods was kind of also instigated by the fact of like I've unplugged all the Alexa devices in my house. Like they're all gone now. They're all gone. They're in the basement. They've all been relegated into the basement. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more privacy concerned I am, and the more that I just don't trust Amazon with having a.
I get you, buddy. I get you.
I'm sure it's fine, and I'm sure I have like so many other things in my house that I probably should also be worried about that I'm not. But I just wanted
You do bring up an excellent point. I am pleased enough with the HomePod Mini that I could see myself going down that route. But the thing that would concern me about that is, and I'll have to do some Googling about this, is like with the devices that I currently have, if I were to ditch the Lady Tube dingus and go more towards the Apple Lady dingus, would I still be able to do the things that I want to do? And I think that I can. But I'll tell you, for all the things I don't like about Lady Tube dingus, the alarm clock we have is one of those shows.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got like the nice display on it that shows the time, and we use that as our alarm clock. So I think, I mean, could I use a HomePod Mini for that? Sure, but I like being able to like look up and see what time it is when I'm laying in bed.
Yeah, you're not gonna. Yeah.
So I would need to find something that isn't, and I wonder. Okay, all right, let's go down this rabbit hole. Smart alarm clocks. Smart alarm clock. Lenovo, no thanks. Lenovo makes one. I wonder if it's the same Lenovo or if it's like knockoff Lenovo. Okay, popular on mechanics. The 9 best smart alarm clocks to get you out of bed. I'll go ahead and drop this link in the show notes. Let's see what we get up to here. Emerson smart alarm clock. Nope, that looks like that is not well made. Anchor. Okay, now I could fuck with this.
Ooh.
That is nice. That is white. It is white, and it's got like a weird like dot matrix looking display. I dig it. The Hatch Restore smart alarm clock looks like a giant boob. Gonna go hard pass there. Amazon Echo Dot. Nope, we're going. Yep, you didn't understand the assignment. Yep, that's Lenovo. We're not getting that. iHome. iHome is still around, huh?
They are still around. Yes.
Ugh, I don't like the look of that. A JBL Horizon alarm clock.
All these are kind of ugly.
There are. Oh, but the metric time home clock alarm. I like that. I can tell you don't like that. I like that. It's expensive. Holy cow.
It is. It's expensive. Yep.
Let's see here. Despite the hefty price tag, sure, it wakes you up. You can stream tunes from Spotify.
You know what? I'm sold. I'm going back to that LaMetric Time Smart Alarm Clock Home, which is a horrible title. So it's voice control ready, blah, blah, blah. It can even flash the number of your social media followers.
Oh, right.
I mean, why wouldn't you want to wake up every morning and see how many people will follow you on Twitter? That's what I want.
How many people am I going to disappoint today, Clock? I don't know. I like the way that looks. Tyune Smart Alarm Clock, hard pass. That's it. Okay, popular mechanics. I think the only one I liked on that list was the Anchor. The Anchor doesn't look bad. I wonder how bright it is, though. It's got like a weird heather gray speaker thing that looks like it shines through.
Okay.
All right.
Hold on.
Okay, I'm listening.
So I went and I clicked on that affiliate link to go into Amazon to see what's going on with that clock.
I'm going.
Okay. The clock, it comes by itself and in two other like bundles. And one of the bundles I kind of look at sideways and go, okay, I guess maybe. And the other one I'm absolutely baffled by.
Well, hold on. Then you're
getting
some. Well, okay. I see frequently bought together. Is that what you're talking about?
Nope. How do I chat? Shit.
Just put it in the show notes.
I'm gonna drop a screenshot in the show notes. Hold on, folks. We're doing this live.
I don't see the.
Only if I could use.
I don't see the bundle, man. What am I missing?
I got too many windows open.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna click your link. So I go to the podcast link here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I dropped an image.
Oh, wait. Style clock. You clicked on the affiliate link.
Yes. Yep. Okay. I'm
in
Amazon.
I don't have that at all.
Oh, okay. Okay. So here are the three ways you can buy the clock by itself. Okay. Clock plus a Stream Deck. Okay. I get it. Okay. And the third one is clock plus mini box cutter.
Yeah, because I wake up thinking about murder.
I guess after you see that your Twitter followers went down, you just keep that handy and you just cut deep.
Yeah. Oh man.
Every time I lose a follower, I cut myself. That's not good. Don't do that, people.
Yeah, don't do that. We don't advocate violence here.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, so let's just smart alarm clock. Like I want one. God, what is with these giant orbs? Like I don't want a giant orb on my desk. Alarm clock, whinies. Okay, a Baby Yoda one. Fandom. Boy, these are all garbage. These are all so bad. Man, I'm gonna have to do some research and come back on this because I don't think I could successfully jettison myself from that lifestyle until we solve that problem.
Yeah,
but I think hold on, okay. But since I'm here, right? So Lutron, HomeKit, smart switches. Yeah, I think I can. I think I could move all my smart switches to it.
Yeah, because Caseta. Lutron Caseta is HomeKit enabled.
Yeah, okay, so I could move those. That's like the big one. If I could do that, then I can easily replace the tube ladies with other tube with ball ladies. Okay, all right. So that was an interesting segment. Yeah, so the outcome of that is I need a new smart alarm clock. That's pretty much what I learned there.
Oh, that's what we learned. Yeah, but anywho, HomeKit and HomeBridge, so far so good. I'm actually thinking about diving in even further and maybe getting some smart switches and we'll see.
Yeah, controlling my outside lights is like my number one thing because what's really nice about that is you can say turn these on at dawn or turn these on at like dusk and turn them off at dawn, and because of planetary physics and everything, that is not a static time. So it's just like. I don't know how it knows that.
Yeah. So, like here's the problem I have though is like ideally like if I was going to pick one switch in the house to make smart, I would do the same thing. I would do the switch that controls like my outside porch lights. But that is on kind of what are they called? Like the little island with multiple switches on it. One of them's the outside light, one is the hall light. and that hall is also like a 3-way light with a switch in my living room, and that switch has 3 or 4 switches on it.
Yeah, so
and those are 2 or 3-way switches for other things. So like, it's gonna be hard for me to like not replace all of them, because I can't find a cover that's like, okay, you have 1 smart switch and 1 regular switch.
So I had the same problem, and actually mine's worse than that. So the 1 smart switch that controls the garage lights is on a 3-gang box. Yeah. That is by my garage, like the door to go out to my garage. And the switch plate is gray. The switches are dark gray, and they're upside down.
Oh, neat.
So now the one in the middle is black, and it is also upside down from my other smart switches. So when I'm interacting with that switch, I have to know that down turns that on instead of up. So yeah. And like, I didn't realize what was happening. Like, the guy was installing it, and I think he's like, these are installed upside down for a reason. I'm sure this nice guy wants this one also installed upside down. And I wish I had been paying more attention, because I would have told him not to do that. But I can't get mad about it. Those guys did a good job, even though one guy almost died in my living room. But that's a callback to a previous episode.
I remember that.
Yeah. Okay. So what's going on with me? Part of the reason that last week was so busy is we hosted a party at my house. So I have been going to the same gym now for, I think, 8 years. It's been really good for me, and during that time, I've got to know the coaches there pretty well. And every coach there is very supportive. I would go so far as to say some of them are my friends, which I think breaks a whole bunch of like weird protocols for that sort of professional relationship, but whatever. And every year I get, the coaches gifts. Like, I will get them gift cards to things and everything. But one thing that has sort of been gaining a little bit of traction at the gym, and there's like, let me just see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's like 8 or 9 coaches. And one thing that has become fancy there is for people who are gym members to host the coaches at their homes or take them out and do things. And some people have hosted the coaches over for like little mini competitions, or there was one person who invited the coaches over to make pizzas in his like fancy pizza oven. What I pitched to sort of the owner of the gym was, I was like, hey, it'd be great if you could ask the coaches if they'd be interested in coming over for a game night, and I will host it. I will get them set up, and I will sort of like facilitate the games. We'll make a bunch of food. You don't have to bring anything other than yourselves. Come and have a good time. And pretty much overwhelmingly, they almost all accepted, except for people that had a couple other commitments. And we had everybody over. It seems like everybody had a pretty good time. We played some fun games, and what's really kind of fun, the funniest part for me is these are very competitive people, because some of them were CrossFit Games competitors. So they are just naturally competitive people, and watching them all play games was kind of fun to watch. And I think they all had a pretty good time. I had the most competitive group play Survive, which might not have been wise.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, but all in all, I think everybody had a pretty good time. And it was like the first chance for us to really host an event at our home, because like, you've been to my old house, it was pretty small. So that way I'm going to fit 12 people in there comfortably. So we did, we had everybody over, we had plenty of space. My wife did a phenomenal job preparing a bunch of food and drinks, and I went and bought some liquor, and we actually like have a liquor cabinet now, and mixed up some drinks and some wine and stuff like that. But all in all, it was really fun. I'm really glad that I had the opportunity to do that. I'm glad that they were so enthusiastic about doing it, and it went about as well as I hoped it could go. Like I said, nobody has told me they had a shitty time, so I'm going to call that kind of a win. But one thing that I didn't really know a lot about, and I still don't know a lot about, is wine. So half the party goers were bourbon drinkers. And, look, that's an easy one, right? Because everybody sort of has their own opinions about bourbon, and they all have their brands that they like and would recommend to people. And honestly, I am not sophisticated enough to know like what the greatest bourbon is. And I know that you could probably spend hundreds of dollars on it, right? But in my opinion, I could go buy a nice bottle of Maker's Mark, or I could go buy a bottle of Four Roses, which is what I bought, like a small batch Four Roses bottle, and it's fine, right? It's not garbage, right? But it's not something that's like, ooh, Drew bought $200 bourbon. No, I'm not that guy. So I bought that. I bought ingredients to mix that into old fashions. But universally, everybody that was drinking bourbon or scotch or other things that night were either doing neat or rocks. So that never entered into the equation. But I did buy a bunch of wine, and I bought some stoppers for it and everything. And there's just a lot I don't know about wine, and I felt kind of dumb asking friend of the show Eric sort of what the right way to sort of serve wine was. And I had always thought that you chill most white wines, and I think that's true, but some white wines you don't. And based on the white wines that I bought, I ended up chilling all of them, which I think was the right move. And I'm pretty sure Eric said it was the right move. And then like you have to drink it all after you open it within a certain amount of time, or else vinegar happens. And then I had to actually go buy like bottle stoppers, because I feel like I had some at one time. I don't know if they got lost prior to the move or during the move or what, but I went and bought a bunch of like bottle stoppers, and I got yelled at for not storing my champagne sideways, and yeah, it was a whole thing. So
that sounds awful.
Yeah, but I've been sort of just enjoying a glass of wine every night to sort of polish off, what wasn't finished at the party. And I like wine. And I'm not a wine snob. Again, I think that there's just as many wine snobs these days as there are bourbon snobs. I'm not here to tell you what's good wine and what's not good wine. I just buy like middle of the road stuff, which I think is what you're supposed to do. I don't think you're supposed to overspend on that stuff. But no, it was good. And it felt really good to host everybody. And it was just my way of saying thanks to those guys, because those coaches work so hard. And like one of the coaches, Andy, he's like, he's a coach that I frequent his classes because they're on different rotations in their schedule based on when I can go. And he's also the one I work with one-on-one from like a PT perspective. And then he's also the guy I meet with to do my nutrition stuff. So a lot of my like weight loss and fitness goals and success have been directly correlated and contributed to him. Although there are other coaches, there that have helped me, and they're all really nice. And, I had it opened up to their husbands or wives or whoever they wanted to bring. And we had a really good turnout, and it was just a really, really nice evening. So I was really thankful for that. And again, I keep saying we're going to do this. I keep threatening you with this, but we are going to have a game night here in the future. I think major sports is happening this weekend. I think this is the weekend where everybody in Ohio loses their minds.
What's a football?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Ohio State, Michigan this weekend, but they play at noon, and I was sort of toying with the idea of maybe trying to do something Saturday, but I don't know how many people will be available. I guess it depends on how the game goes. I don't know.
I don't watch football, so yeah, do it at noon. I don't care.
Well, that would be at night. But yeah, look, watch your texts. I'll see who I can gin up some responses from to see if that's a doable thing. But anyway, cool. Last bit of news for me.
I have one quick comment. I know exactly one thing about wine.
Okay.
I don't like it.
You don't like the stinky grape juice?
I don't like. Now, like, okay, if you give me like a really, really, really sweet wine, it'll be okay. But like most reds to me taste like various degrees of battery acid.
Oh, okay.
And I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't like white wine.
Wine bad.
I don't like white wine. For some reason, those taste very dry to me. And I'm very picky about my reds. For me, like once it gets into the colder months, I switch to like a Malbec. That's like my favorite kind of type of wine. Although like a Pinot Noir or a Cab are fine. Like if I'm at somebody's house and they're serving wine, like I'll have a glass of that. Or if I'm at dinner, I'll have a glass of that. But white wines, I'm not a big fan of. I don't know. I would say try a Malbec. If you haven't tried Malbec, because it's a really hearty blend, and it's generally pretty fruity. I would say if you were looking to sort of like be sociable and look sophisticated with a glass of wine, like go for that every time.
Every glass of red wine I've ever had has tasted bad, so I can give it a try, but I'm skeptical.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anywho, Drew's doing something.
Yeah.
What's Drew doing?
Okay. This is an interesting one because it's not at all what I thought I'd be doing in December this year. But for those of you that are into this type of thing, throughout this pandemic, I have given a few virtual presentations on various subjects and things that I'm working on. But I'm happy to announce that in December, I will be at Dev Intersections in Las Vegas giving 2 talks.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, so this is very much a who you know, not what you know type situation. I was asked to sort of speak at this conference. And this is a conference that has a very large Microsoft presence and focus. So it's not just Microsoft people speaking, but it is a showcase of Microsoft stuff and Microsoft topics. So I will be giving some talks about Azure Data Factory. I will also be talking about Azure Databricks here. It is in Vegas, which you know me, I'm not the biggest fan of travel, but if you're listening and you plan on going to this thing, it'll be the first conference that I've been at. For quite some time now. But I'm fortunate that I get to go. I'm actually going to be working on my content this coming weekend because I have to get like that polished up and ready to go because this is the first week in December. But it's going to be a good time, and there's going to be a lot of people that I know that are going to be there. It'll be nice to see people and actually get out and do something. So if you are going to be there and you want to say hello, please do so. More info will be in the show notes, but I will be there, and it'll be fine. It'll be fun. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Probably don't talk to me the first day when I land because I'll probably be really high on Xanax. But you know, again, if you're our one listener, you probably already know that. So,
well, that's cool. Well,
yeah, it's gonna be cool. Yeah. All right, let's wrap this up because I need to go to bed because tomorrow is a day where we're hosting Thanksgiving at our house.
Oh, you have a very big day tomorrow.
Yeah. Again, my lady friend was especially busy today. I give her all the credit in the world. I would never say that to her face because I'm a giant coward, and it's a form of emotional abuse. No, I'm kidding. She's been working so hard and she's nervous, right? Because even though we already had a party here, this is different. This is family.
Yep.
But again,
and it's all the pressure of cooking a large meal that everybody's looking forward to. And yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it. She did all her baking and stuff today and everything looks pretty scrumptious. So what are you doing for the holiday?
We're going up to my sister-in-law's house. She usually does Thanksgiving when she can. She's a nurse, so sometimes she works, but she has Thanksgiving off, and I'm in it to win it this year, man. I'm going to go hard. I'm going to set a personal best for calories consumed. I'm ready to go.
Okay, all right. So I had this debate with somebody the other day. I'm going to rattle off some Thanksgiving foods, and you tell me if you fuck with these or not. Okay. All right, we'll start easy. So turkey or ham?
Turkey.
Turkey, right? Ham. That's Christmas. Mashed potatoes, obviously.
Obviously.
Okay. Green bean casserole.
I'll have a little bit of it.
Okay. Sweet potatoes or yams?
Yes. The more the merrier.
Okay.
Yep.
Cranberry sauce.
Absolutely.
Stuffing.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now I'm gonna drop one on you here.
Okay.
And this was a little bit of a shock to me.
Okay.
And again, just context. We're talking main meal available to everybody, not just the small beings at the Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Mac and cheese.
It doesn't have a place at this particular Thanksgiving, but I would.
Thank you.
But I wouldn't say no to some mac and cheese on Thanksgiving.
Well, I'm not going to say no to mac and cheese. That wasn't the question. Like, mac and cheese is fucking delicious. But never in my lifetime have I ever been to a Thanksgiving meal where it's like, here's a bunch of mac and cheese.
No, it's not a traditional Thanksgiving
Thank you.
dish.
I had someone arguing with me that it was, and I'm not here to shit on your family's tradition, but like, no, that is not. Like that's not Thanksgiving canon. Like that's not.
Now you did forget the most important thing that has to be on the table for Thanksgiving, and that's gravy.
Well, that's no that.
But it's
that
not
is,
because
that is
my wife does not like gravy. She's evil.
Jennifer,
if I had known this before I married her, I did, but.
I feel like that's something easy to suss out while you're dating somebody.
That comes up in like week 2.
That has to come up. Come up.
Yep.
Not like, maybe weird jobs that you had in your lifetime, but like knowing if you like gravy or not. So then what does she do? Is she butter on the mashed potatoes lady then?
She is, yes.
Okay. Well, she's not eating them plain. She's not a psycho.
She puts butter. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, I get that.
Why not why not butter and gravy?
No. I feel like that is a big old stomach. Oh, whoopsie. So how does she put the butter on it then? Does she just go in there and throw a pat of butter on it, let it melt while she's eating other things, or does she preheat the butter and pour it on there?
She'll just put it on there, let it melt, mix it up.
Okay.
Hit it hard. Yep.
Okay, I respect that. Now, if you told me she just drops a little square of margarine on there and just goes to town,
she takes two pieces of butter. The first goes directly under her tongue, and then
she's making a little mashed potato slider.
Yeah,
out of butter. That makes my tummy hurt.
She puts a spoonful of mashed potatoes in her mouth, then a little bit of butter in her mouth, mixes it up in there. Yeah.
Ooh, God. Ugh. Ooh. Well, okay. So hold on a second. But okay, is this genetic? Did she pass this trait down to your children?
My kids. Let's not talk about what my kids eat.
Oh no! Well, okay.
I mean, though they both eat turkey and rolls. And my sister-in-law makes this amazing corn casserole that my son just devours.
Okay.
But neither of them eat mashed potatoes. Neither of them eat gravy. It's sad.
No.
It's sad. It's sad, and I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. Sorry. I mean, not everybody's kids are perfect, I guess.
No.
Oh, God. I will fuck with mashed potatoes all day, man.
Yep.
Now, okay, so let's talk about your gravy displacement. So you go and you got your plate, you got it all fixed up. What are you putting gravy on? And what are you keeping gravy off of?
I don't understand this concept of keep gravy off of things.
Okay, so for me, right, I what I do is I sort of partition the plate, right? So I got the turkey, I got the stuffing, I got the mashed potatoes, and the gravy sort of goes. Yes, the gravy sort of goes over all of that. But if I'm throwing,
if there's yams, the gravy's not going on that.
Yeah, you got to keep it away from it,
but
right?
On the green beans, absolutely. On the potatoes, the
no,
stuffing,
I can't.
the turkey,
I can't do it on I can't do it on the green beans. I keep it away from the veggies. I keep it away from the rolls because the rolls are there to soak it up on my terms.
Yes, the rolls are there to help. Yes, exactly, or to help shovel things onto your fork easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm glad we're clear on that. But yeah, I can't mess with the gravy on the green beans. Now, where are you at with cranberry sauce?
I love cranberry sauce.
I can't do it. I like cranberries.
I love it. I love the real stuff that actually looks like cranberries. I love the gelatinous mystery food that comes out of the can. I love it all. I love it both. I'll eat either one of those.
Ugh. What's the other one we were arguing about? Hold on, I gotta go back to my chat history here. Hang on a second. There was another one that was on the list that I was like, that is not canon Thanksgiving. Ham was one, mac and cheese was the other. Okay, so what do you do traditional for dessert? Are you traditionalist with the pumpkin pie, or do you do something else?
I'm a big pumpkin pie guy. My wife is big into pecan pie, which is gross.
So hot take. I don't like either of them.
Oh, okay.
I am a big fan of peanut butter pie.
Because
for some reason in my family, it was always pecan pie was never at any family Thanksgiving gathering. And to this day, I don't believe is. So at either of my dad's or my mom's parents, I don't ever remember there being pecan pie. There was always pumpkin pie, and there was always peanut butter pie. So peanut butter pie for me has sort of replaced the pecans. But I don't like anything pumpkin flavored, if I'm honest. And I know that pumpkin pie is not made with any sort of real pumpkin these days, but I don't know, man. I've never been a fan of that stuff. I don't know.
Oh, I love pumpkin pie. So good. Just cram it in my face.
I can't do it. And I'll mess with some brownies, and cookies if they're there. Now, do they set out hors d'oeuvres for Thanksgiving at any of these gatherings?
Yeah, my sister-in-law, usually have something out to nibble on. It's like some cheese or some cookies or sweets or yeah. She doesn't hold back. She doesn't hold back.
You know what my go-to sort of appetizer these days are?
What is that?
Kettle chips with French onion dip.
Ooh, that sounds good.
God, I used to go hard on that stuff in college, man. And like every once in a while, my mother-in-law will hook us up with some of that stuff, and it's so good.
It sounds so good. That sounds good. And that's an easy thing you can bring to.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah,
totally.
Smart. Yep.
Yeah, really good. And then last year, but not this year, we did something interesting at my mom's house because we weren't going to be able to come over for Thanksgiving because of COVID. But what she did is she prepared pizzas in the shape of turkeys, and that was adorable. And I really, really liked that. So that was fun. Okay, well, I really hope that your eating goes well tomorrow.
Same for you, Drew.
I would love to maybe sit Zach down and tell him that it's his job to eat mashed potatoes, but you know what? He's having his time, man. I get it. What do you say we wrap this up?
Let's do it. You can find us on the internet at doingbtheirbest.com. You can find us on Twitter at doingbestpod. I'm on the Twitter at Paul Baylor. And where can we find you, Drew?
Yeah, I'm over on Twitter at Pittfurg, P-A-T-T-F-U-R-G. And as I mentioned before, if you're going to be in Vegas for Dev Intersections, come say hello and tell us that you're our one listener, and I'll give you a big hug because that won't be weird.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening and have a good Thanksgiving.
See ya.